Okay, this will bring us to the last set of questions for the multiple choice. And first thing that we need to do is see how many questions we have to answer. And it looks like we're going to have to answer 4 questions. So let's do our survey first. Well, these are certainly our favorites. As you know, we have 47. Which sentence, if inserted into the blank line in the second paragraph, would be most consistent with the writer's purpose and intended audience? That question is really going to depend on tone, and we're not going to know the tone of the article until we read it. Which sentence is least relevant to the main idea of the passage? That's probably one I'm going to do first because as I read through it, I'll be able to see where the non sequitur is. In other words, the sentence that just doesn't fit logically within the pattern. Turning the page. Between the first and second paragraphs of the passage, which the writer's approach seems to shift from, we'll get that as we read through it, I think. From demonstration to analysis, description to inquiry, exploration to explanation, cause and effect, narration to persuasion. So we'll see if they're asking us to believe anything at the end. And then this one, which of the following best summarizes, well, I have to read the whole thing to get that, the main points of this passage. So it's all going to be about percentages. Where is most of the time spent, and which one of the answers captures that highest percentage? Okay, let's start reading. And I think let's go after the question 48. Which sentence doesn't fit within the context? Okay, so let me bump that up just a bit and we'll get started right on that. All right, here we go. It says, near the outskirts of the Andes Mountains, there lies an elevated plateau called the Nazca Pampa. At first glance, the stony desert appears featureless, except for a few breaks here and there in the surface. So far, so good. But viewed from the air, this barren expanse of land reveals an extraordinary display of designs in the earth created by ancient peoples. Look at 4. Flying is an important means of travel throughout much of the Andes, which is the world's largest mountain chain. Looking down from above, one can see geometric spirals, zigzags, and colossal triangles and rectangles, all executed with exceptional precision. Nearby gigantic, well-proportioned outlines of animals and plants can also be seen. I don't know about you, but 4, flying is an important means of travel throughout much of the Andes, the world's longest mountain chain. That does not seem to fit at all because it seems to come out of nowhere. Therefore, I'm going to say that sentence 4 is the least relevant and it should go. Now, I'm going to save this insert into the blank business and read through the rest of this paragraph to try to get at the next 2 questions. And so let me just reduce the screen size a bit and notice that in those questions, what we're asked, for example, in 49 is what is this writer's approach? Is it demonstration to analysis, description to inquiry, exploration to explanation, cause and effect, or narrative to persuasion? Well, if I look back at this opening paragraph in here, what it appears to me to be most clearly is that this person is describing something. So that first opening describes the Nazca Pampa. That's what's happening in here. Now let's go to the next paragraph. Grab my highlighter. Who were the ancient artists who created these enormous sketches and for what purpose? Blank. There have been countless theories about the origin of the Nazca drawings, and some of them quite outrageous, such as the suggestion that Nazca drew these designs to make landing strips for extraterrestrial visitors. To date, however, no one knows for sure whether these ancient drawings were meant to be an astronomical calendar, a ritual highway to sacred sites, or landing site for UFOs, or whether they were created from some other mysterious purpose. I don't know about you, but that is certainly getting at inquiry. It's getting at inquiry because it's not providing you with an answer, and you get a question right here in the opening of that paragraph. Therefore, as we look through these, demonstration to analysis, no. Description to inquiry, I think so. Exploration to explanation, no explanation was given. Cause and effect, no effect was given. No one is persuading you to believe anything, therefore E is out. Now if we look at the percentages now, what was the time really spent on in here? Look at A. When seen from the air, seemingly barren Nazca Pampa reveals a striking array of precisely execute a design, the purpose of which is still a subject of speculation. I would say that 80% of the paragraph was spent on that. That's a strong contender. B. Although nobody knows for certain why the ancient Nazcans created geometric designs found in their homeland, some people believe they were attracted to attract UFOs. Only 1% of the time was spent on that. Until airplane travel became common in the Andes, no one was aware of the extraordinary designs. That's 1%. The strange designs found on the otherwise featureless surface of the pampas indicate that popular interest in the extraterrestrials. Nah, that's a 1%. That's only a 1%. My goodness. Moving this up. Nestled high in the Andes Mountains, the Nazca Pampa is a desert plateau whose irregular rock formations have been studied extensively. Blah, blah, blah. That's pretty much out, I would say. So just based on the percentage of time spent on this article, it really is A. That when seen from the air, seemingly barren Nazca Pampa reveals a striking array of precisely executed designs, the purpose of which is still subject to speculation. Okay, jumping back to the sentence that's inserted in here, really, again, what we need to do is match tone and context. So let's see if we can do that. Who were the ancient artists who created these enormous sketches, and for what purpose? Blank. There have been countless theories about the origin of Nazca drawings, some of which are quite outrageous. Let's go down the list. That's one really interesting sort of question. That is way too informal for this paragraph because it's a little bit more academic, I think. I don't have a clue myself. That does not fit in tone. Let's read it again from here. Who are the ancient artists who created these enormous sketches and for what purpose? Let's go to C. Lots of different people have asked that question over the years. My goodness, that's still too informal. Who are the ancient artists who created these enormous sketches and for what purpose? The answer remains a mystery. Read the second part. There have been countless theories about the origins of the Nazca drawings, some of them quite outrageous. D really fits so far. E, you were doubtlessly wondering the same thing. That's out. D fits in terms of tone. D fits in terms of context. Therefore, D is correct. Okay, wow. Whew. Our next task, everybody, is to go through the essays, which we will do when we pick this back up, but hopefully you saw a little bit of how to get through the CVEST reading portion of this test, really by looking at the questions first, being choosy about which ones you're going to do first, and then blowing through them. Let's get through the writing portion next.